being here. We'll just start in a few moments. We're just waiting for Mr. Andrew Fleming. Oh, all right. Then we are ready to start. I invite all the dignitaries on stage, whoever is actually supporting us on ground. They have been supporting us forever. And it's not just today supporting us, they have been supporting all our projects now. I invite Mr. Andrew Fleming, the UK British High Commission.
So we have Mr. Andrew Fleming, the Deputy High Commissioner from the British High Commission, Hyderabad.
Hello.
We have Mr. Vivek Verma with us, who heads the Telangana State Innovation. We have Mr. Bharani, President from HYSEA. We have Mr. Ramesh Loganathan, who is the professor and head of the research outreach from the IIIT Hyderabad. Then we have Ms. Anisha Reddy from the Chirac International School. We also have Mr. Rajan Siji, who is the person behind our sponsor and the title sponsor 360 Life. Thank you so much, Mr. Siji, for helping us out with this project. And we have Mrs. Kiran Mai from the United Way, Vice President. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, all the press and media that is here to cover. We need all your support for getting this further, not just today, but all through the year where we are working towards restoring these water projects. I would hand it over to Kalpana to actually speak about what the wonderful work that she's doing.
Thank you, Sirisha, and I welcome all the dignitaries here again and all of the press who have made it here. Thank you so much. Blue Hyderabad is a social campaign we run as SAHE. SAHE is the Society for Advancement in Human Endeavour. So I have led water initiatives for SAHE for the last 4 to 5 years now. And we have started a social enterprise called the Rainwater Project, primarily with the goal to improve our groundwater levels in the city and maybe across the country as well. So the Rainwater Project and SAHE launched the Blue Hyderabad campaign on the Jal Shakti Ministry portal, and the National Water Mission Director, Mr. Ashok Kumar, actually launched our Blue Hyderabad on their portal in Jal Shakti Ministry, and they have always offered support and future support also for all our projects. So the mission is, we have a lot of water bodies and water structures in our city which need a lot of help. Now, it's not just the lakes, it is also the wells, the heritage step wells. The wells could be irrigation wells or heritage step wells. And we have some ponds, we have some swamps, let's say, stagnant water bodies where we can recreate interesting public spaces out of it. Right now it's mosquito breeding ground and a lot of people suffer diseases. And most of our cities, sewage is not treated. So there's a lot of ground contamination as well. So this year through COVID, we picked up 6 communities around the Kudikunta Lake, which we're doing the restoration of. And we did common area rainwater harvesting in these 6 colonies, where it was a public participatory thing, where we made the colonies do rainwater harvesting, while we did several injection bores also. So if we did 3 injection bores, they did couple of them, and we handed all the 5 injection bores for them to take care of it, because maintenance is also key. So while we did that, we've heard such beautiful success stories. Boards that used to stop working by November and December are now actually working even beyond now. I mean, there is a bore near the Gopi Chervu which was completely a dead bore, and it gives about 2.5 lakh liters today with the efforts we've made. And we are also partnering with schools as well, Chirek International, which is almost all their 3 campuses are water positive schools, and we have worked with them with several awareness campaigns, and we've got common area rainwater harvesting done even outside their school, which they have supported. We have done rainwater harvesting in parks. We want parks to become rainwater harvesting zones. And we have got temples to do rainwater harvesting zones, where the donors in the temples have donated rainwater harvesting. Churches, and we've also targeted institutions, large institutions. So whether it's a corporate, hospital, hotel, corporate, whoever it is, anyone that has a rooftop, we want them to come forward and do rainwater harvesting, because I don't have to speak about the floods we had recently. Just imagine the amount of urban floods and how much could have been captured. And we actually set an example where in the middle of, the heart of high-tech city in Kondapur, through COVID, we've restored a large diameter irrigation well. You can see pictures on those boards. And this well actually helped store 1.3 million liters of water, of rainwater, which otherwise would have been on the roads. And that has improved the groundwater of about half a square kilometer around the well. And this is proof because communities are telling us, they are getting back to us. So we need all such collection points, and rainwater harvesting also reduces the groundwater contamination in a big way, because it dilutes the contamination. It doesn't remove the contamination, it dilutes. So it is water security. We become tanker free, and we are reducing the urban floods and also reduce the groundwater contamination. So all of these benefits with one thing called rainwater harvesting, and we want to take this sense and sensibilities not just in one area or block. When Niti Aayog announced 21 cities are running out of water, Hyderabad is one of those 21 cities. If not this year, we are going to see that in future. We are seeing so many bores going deeper and deeper. The bores are not fetching enough water because we've overmined them. As a city, 80% of our bores are overmined. So we need to become sustainable. Today we are heavily dependent on the lift irrigation that comes 200 kilometers away. We need this also because we have a huge population. But our dependability on the municipal water that comes from 200 kilometers, we can't erase rivers, obviously. In the next 25, 30 years, we are going to double up as a population too. So we need to become sustainable as a city. So we have also created tanker-free societies. There are examples where you can see in the middle of heart of high-tech city, you can go and see societies where we do not buy a single tanker for the last 6-7 years. So there are examples like this. We want to encourage more societies. So the Blue Hyderabad campaign, starting with one area, we divided Hyderabad into 98 smaller blocks because we really believe in local action for water. People in that locality come up and handhold restoration. So we have about 98 blocks. How did we divide it? Is each block is a micro watershed. So whatever you preserve in that watershed or you conserve will serve or improve the groundwater of that block. So we are in the way of creating a replicable block. There's a video that will be played. You can see the kind of success we've been able to create in one block. We have created about 12 Blue Hyderabad groups, which is Blue Gopanpalli, Blue Sainikpuri, Blue Aminpur, Blue Ishwarpuri, Blue Nizampet. So all these are nothing but citizen groups where we guide them and handhold them, give them a roadmap, and also showcase what we are doing in this one block so that they can take it to several blocks across the city. So the idea of Blue Hyderabad is truly to become a Blue Hyderabad and a sustainable Hyderabad. Yeah, actually invite all the dignitaries, to speak on why do they believe in this Blue Hyderabad Run. They're here to support us. Like I said, they've always supported even off the ground. They have been supporting us for a while now. We would invite dignitaries, each one of them, to speak about BlueHyderabad Run, not just the run, but what do they think about being sustainable as a city, and what do they think about water as such. We'd start with Mr. Andrew Fleming. He supports a lot of activities for climate change, not just in India but across UK, and we hear him a lot in the city supporting several causes, and he's always on ground, like the well restoration. We had a small event. He was there promptly to support it. We'd like to hear from you, Mr. Andrew.
Yeah, Namaskaram. Thank you. I'm definitely not an expert on the water, but I know a little bit. Obviously, I think it's great that we're making this launch today, which is World Water Day, and it's the 28th year that the world has celebrated World Water Day. And let me just say a little bit about the context of why that is. 2.2 billion people in the world continue to struggle to get access to fresh drinking water, and an estimated 50% increase in the number of people demanding water by 2040 is forecasted. So the pressure is only going to become worse, which means that the Sustainable Development Goal to provide clean water and sanitation for all in the world by 2030 is increasingly becoming a difficult aspiration to meet. So I think all of these factors illustrate why water really matters, why discussions about water will definitely be on the agenda when my government, the UK government, hosts the Climate Change Summit, COP26, in Glasgow, Scotland, at the end of this year. So I just wanted to say these things by way of context about why water is important, and it's definitely also very wrong to assume water is just about oceans and so on. As Kalpana has already said, the access to water is important everywhere, and perhaps is even more of a challenge in some ways in cities like Hyderabad, which are growing at such a pace, and which actually have historically a fantastic network of water systems dating back, I think, to the Kakatiya Empire or dynasty, and which, sadly, we see so many encroachments on this fantastic network of waterways, which at the time was beyond its years, to what we are having now. For each lake, I think, that was made by men, there was supposed to be 20 step wells. Is that right? I think, if I remember from my trip to the step well that they're renovating in Gachibowli that Kalpana has referred to, and so many of these have been lost. In fact, just to give an example, the heritage group that I sometimes associate with, Hyderabad Trails, organised a walk to visit one of these step wells, and in the week between the walk being planned and the walk happening, somebody had come along and concreted over the entire thing, and it had disappeared into history. And this is just one example of what is unfortunately going on in the conflict between water and the relentless desire for land. And of course, it's not for me to come and criticise and talk about that particular conflict. That's a political area. But I do believe that if we don't take care of our water networks and don't take care of our lakes, and if we don't take care of all of the other factors that are involved in providing fresh and clean drinking water, we are going to suffer. I am heartened by President Modi's announcement today on water harvesting. I think it's called Catch the Rain. I think that's great on a national level, but I think you have to start in your city, in your town, in your community. And so I very much admire and have long admired the work that Kalpana has been doing, the Blue Hyderabad team are supporting and advocating, and I think it's only through education and engagement with our next generation that change can take place. So on that basis, the idea of having this run, and hopefully it will become a very successful and annual event, is one of many that I believe as a community concerned for the future of the City for All is a very good initiative. So I think I've probably spoken longer than was intended, but I hope that makes some sense, and I will hand over to whoever's going to follow.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for your speech. I think every word I will remember, and I think it made absolute sense. Here, I would like to also mention the quote given by Principal Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, Mr. Arvind Kumar Garu. He couldn't make it today, but he asked me to read out his quote. So his quote says, "Restoring water bodies, groundwater, and staying water positive is an important agenda of the government of Telangana, and earmarking 10% of the local bodies' budget as green budget is a part of our commitment. We have undertaken several initiatives to restore water bodies. I'm very happy to see a grassroots level change social initiative, Blue Hyderabad, to draw awareness on harvesting rainwater and restoring urban water bodies, a much needed initiative. If every one of us do